Right, I better stop it before we get cut off from YouTube. Um, what's that saying there? Sorry, man. Right, that's it. Right. Are we all good, brother? Can you hear me?
Yes, man. Got you loud and clear.
Let's go. Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome to Let's Get Freaky. We have got a Christmas special for you today. We have
Yeah,
got my brother, Aaron Wrigley, back with us tonight. How are you, sir? Welcome back. Thank you for coming back so soon as well, man.
man. Thank you for having me as always, Tommy. Look, it's a dream every time that I come on here. I seem to always have new shit to tell you about too, which is perfect.
I love it. I love it, man. That's what it's all about. So,
Exactly.
are you ready for Christmas, brother? I know this is
Be,
just before Christmas. We're recording this, but are you ready?
I'm beyond ready. I
Yeah,
I love Christmas time. It's one of those things that I look forward to every year. Get to see the family, get to eat good. You don't feel like shit about it afterwards.
yeah,
It's like Thanksgiving, but better because you're getting gifts on top of it.
yeah.
So, but yeah, how about you,
That
man? Excited?
I'm ready. I get stressful. I get this. I love Christmas. I'm like a big kid, but I just my thing is just worrying that the kids are all good. We've got
Oh
everything.
yeah.
We're ready to go. Then I can relax.
I,
Um,
uh,
But that's the thing because in the US, obviously, you've had Thanksgiving a few weeks ago.
yep,
We don't really do the Thanksgiving over here. We do it a little bit, but not really. Like,
for sure.
um, what would so you say you prefer Christmas? Would you say that's most people prefer Christmas or is thank?
Yeah.
Because I speak to a lot of people that say they prefer Thanksgiving.
I've known more people that prefer Christmas. I think the big thing is that like people don't like whenever Christmas, like, how do I put this? Like Christmas has a tendency to come way too early sometimes, where it's like it'd be like right after like Halloween and all of a sudden Christmas shit's popping up. You're like, we just ended October. What are you
Yeah.
doing? You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Yeah.
Like all this extra shit up here and whatnot. So
They
but
put Christmas stuff up in the UK in the shops in literally August.
yeah,
Honestly, like there's stuff up in August
they're
that you can
quick.
buy for Christmas. Yeah, yeah. So it's like well, nearly 6 months.
Yeah, half a year left and
Half
just
a year.
bullshit. Like that's excessive, right? But like
Hmm.
once it hits like December 1st, that's never that's okay, we gotta get the fucking tree up, we gotta put the lights up, we gotta get it all going, we gotta do it. And it's like one thing that I really find like interesting about Christmas is that like there's this weird like and I don't want to immediately bring it in the paranormal shit
Do
like
it, brother. Do
rip ah, but like oh, there's a
it.
weird energy in the air on Christmas, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and I think that really ties into what the special is going to be for, anybody that's listening tonight.
Hmm.
Is taking it back to those traditions of where it's a Christmas cheer, but you're talking about the Stranger Things,
Yeah.
because everybody's together. And what
Hmm.
happens whenever you have everybody together? Everybody starts talking. They start telling stories. Oh, well, I remember whenever I saw great grandpa float down the stairs, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like just
Hmm.
those types of stories that pop out. And I know that's a very, very, tradition in your
Hmm.
neck of the woods.
100%. Yeah. Back in the
So
Victorian days,
yeah,
that was like the big Christmas tradition. They'd sit around the fire and tell ghost stories. And
oh yeah,
I think that's just built in us. I
yeah,
think that and that's sort of what a podcast is really. Obviously, we're putting it out there to the world, but we're just sitting around a campfire telling ghost stories, man. And that's what I love. I think it's built in our DNA.
I'm telling you. Well, look, see, like I wish, like I'm in an apartment right now, so I got my campfire here, but
Yes.
but it's it's one of those things where I love it. I grew up, like I've told you many times before, I grew up listening to, campfire stories, ghost stories and shit.
Hmm.
And it's one of those things that it never gets old.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, man.
no matter how old you are, either. It's one of those things where you're consistent, like, you know what, like I can't wait. I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear this.
The older I get, the more I love it, to be honest.
Right. Well then,
Uh,
but see
uh,
that part too is the older you get, the wiser you are, and the more stories you're hearing, and then you end up becoming the old timers that were telling you the shit back in the day.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You're
Slowly
telling some
getting closer to being the grandpa.
exactly. Well, it's like you're telling
No, we're not
you're
that
telling
close yet.
well, it's like you're telling the kids and they're still like, oh, ooh, and you're like, oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
look.
Yeah.
You know, my turn now.
But it's interesting what you say about the feeling of Christmas time. That there is
Yeah,
sort of there is a magic in the air, obviously, but there is sort of a spooky in the air as well.
yeah,
Like
there is.
spooky season starts for me in probably September, or it's always
I
spooky
would agree.
season on Let's Get Freaky. But
Exactly.
about September time when the Halloween decorations start popping up in the shops, and that's sort of when it starts to feel, oh, here we go, spooky season is here. But it carries on. For me, it carries on well into like January, and then
Oh, very
obviously
much so.
summer starts to come, and it's sort of for a couple of months we still do spooky stuff here, but the
Yep.
rest of the world doesn't.
Cool. Cool. And it's like, I mean, you think about this, right? Is like a perfect example is whenever it snows out, like
Yes.
especially being in the woods, like, that's my happy place is out in the woods. So like if
Hmm.
you're out in the woods and it's snowing, everything's dead quiet,
Hmm.
right? Like I'm just thankful that we have these squirrels that are out here in my apartment complex and the trees and shit. And I swear the biggest squirrel I've ever heard in my entire life. It sounded like this thing is 40 pounds out here.
Are you
You
sure
know,
it's not a Bigfoot?
I'm positive. Unless he's able to sit up on one of these branches. But louder than shit. But like it's so like thankfully it hasn't snowed here yet. But it did recently, but it was like not like a big snow. I'm want a big snow.
Hmm.
I like my wife is not ready for it. She's like, I just don't want it to snow at all. And I'm like, no, it needs to. But it's one of those things where whenever it snows, it's so quiet,
Hmm.
and
Peaceful.
it's peaceful, but it leaves your mind open to the imagination. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
you're like,
man.
well, what's creeping around the corner? I can't hear anything.
Yeah, yeah. I like to think of the Yeti just walking
Oh yeah,
around, leaving those big old footprints, and
yes.
yeah, man, it's magical.
His own business.
Yeah,
He's just
yeah.
sitting there walking around chilling.
They're saying we could possibly, where I live in Dorset, they're saying we could possibly have snow this Christmas, but I doubt it. I mean, I don't think we have had white Christmases, but I don't really,
Fingers crossed.
yeah, not like the in the movies when it's like, the
Yeah,
perfect snow, they build a snowman, that's what I want, man. I want that.
I want it bad. Like I'm really hoping. Like here in Illinois, like we usually get right around like late December, January, and February. Like January and February are like the harshest winters that we'll have is like in those months.
Hmm.
And then after that, it just goes like raining consistently.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's just cold.
it is
Yeah,
cold,
man.
dreary,
Yeah,
nasty
because
hell
that's the
out.
thing. You don't mind it being cold when it's snowing. I'm not. I'm talking for us. I mean, there's a lot of people that
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
hate the snow, but and I mean, especially in the UK when it snows as well. If it snows pretty bad, which is like 2 inches in the UK, everything shuts down. Like
Oh yeah.
there's nothing open. There's carnage on the roads.
Oh, you
The
said two
schools
inches,
are shut. Oh, mate, I tell you, like we can't handle it here. I mean, people like me love it, but we
man.
just can't handle it.
Look, I remember we got 15 inches one year.
Oh,
So I got
wow.
15 inches. That shit was great. And
Yeah.
I for they see the worst part is too is that sometimes they'll still sit there and be like, "Yeah, we might have school in session still," and it's like, "You motherfuckers better not."
Yeah. Oh,
But
that was the best.
whenever because like for me, like my mom being a school district teacher, like I always used to hear like firsthand, like if school is gonna be out for public school and shit.
Hmm.
So I sit there, text all our friends, we're like, "Hey guys, it's out, we're cool." Everybody's all chill, hopping in the whatnot, going out and playing in the snow. Yeah, shit was great.
Yes.
Not
Well,
now we got taxes and shit as adults.
yeah, man. I know we can't enjoy those things like we used to. But that
No,
that feeling, man, when you got that call in the morning, or it was normally your mum waking you up saying,
yeah,
"There's no school today," and like, yeah, and
yeah,
you're
it's
just
the
in the
best feeling.
snow all day till your hands are sore because you're just building
Yeah,
and you're fighting snow fights all day. That, oh man, what a feeling.
it's beautiful. I love that time of year.
Do you have in the US, do you have the snowman? It's like a little short cartoon with a little ginger kid that's sort of and the song is by the way you're looking at me, I don't
I
think you
don't think
do.
so. It sounds cool though.
And it's I'm walking in the air and it's like this little famous cartoon that plays every
Uh-uh.
year in the UK. You need to Google YouTube it.
Look,
It
I'm
the
looking at
s-
it.
the snowman.
You said
And
the snowman.
your kids will love it, man, and your family will love it because it is
Yeah, Yeah, we gotta get this going.
Yeah,
So
check it out. It's one of the,
that's
it's a classic in the UK. And the little ginger kid that's in the, he's like one of the, he's the main character in it. I used to look like that when I was a little kid. So when you see it, that's like what I used to look like when I was 5 or whatever.
look, we're gonna watch it. I'm telling you,
Yeah, that's on the
dog says
list.
tonight. We gotta let the kiddo watch it.
That's on the list, mate. Yeah, you'll love it, man. What's your favorite Christmas movies? While we're on the Christmas.
Hands down, Christmas Vacation. My family has consistently watched Christmas Vacation every year since I was a kid. Like that's
Yes.
our family's movie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%.
Grizz Wallets.
Yeah, oh, it's the best. That I've not actually watched that. Because I don't know about you, I watch the same films in
Oh yeah.
December every year. Home Alone,
Oh yeah.
Santa Claus. I go through them all, and that I've not watched that one yet.
It's
But
definitely got to put that on your watch list.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I have watched it, but just not this year.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That is definitely going to be watched for sure. But I watched Christmas with the Cranks the other day for the first time.
Excellent movie.
Great film, man. Tim Allen.
Tim Allen. Can't go
Yeah.
wrong with Tim Allen.
Oh, so good. There's something about this. I just love it, man. I'm a
Well,
bit of a Christmas geek.
well, that one, and then another good one is A Christmas Story.
Hmm. Yes.
It's for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, there's so many good ones. There's so many good ones.
But that's the thing. That's what I love about these holidays is that they carry this nostalgia with them. Like now, for me, and I bet it's even greater for you because your generation really got to see a lot of cool shit. But like, for me and my generation, being, what, like, I grew up in the early 2000s to like, now because I'm 25, but like, it's
You're
one of
still
those
a baby, man.
yeah, and it's one of those things where like I remember in the early 2000s, like the nostalgia of like Christmas was so hardcore. Like I
Yeah.
look back and like, you know, especially whenever you see like those TikTok reels where it's like, 2005 Christmas and you're like, you shit,
Yes.
they're making me all sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I
Uh,
said, back before taxes and bills and shit.
hmm. Yeah. Waking up to an N64 if you was lucky enough to get that.
uh,
Something like that was
uh,
just.
for me, it was, I remember that you probably remember whenever they first came out was the Nintendo Wii.
Hmm. Yeah,
My
well,
dad,
I remember that we call it the SNES in the UK,
oh yeah.
Nintendo's, which is like the really old one. I used to have that.
See, and that's the thing is, it's like I remember my dad telling me about how because I wanted a Wii so bad, right? I wanted it so bad, and how he had to like search all over, like just to find that one Wii because everybody scalped them, so they like took all of it out and everything, and just
Yes.
selling them on eBay. And he couldn't find them anywhere, and then eventually found like one. I think he found one online for like under retail price and ended up buying it. So probably some dude stole it, and
Doesn't
then
matter.
doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
It's
He got
mine
it.
now.
He got it. That's awesome, man. My thing was, do you remember, obviously, Toy Story? We all remember Toy Story.
Oh
So
yes.
when Toy Story first came out, I don't know if it was the first Christmas, but the Toy Story toys, the Woody and the Buzz, were like
Yep.
gold dust to get them. And I
Oh
remember
yeah.
me and my brother both wanted them. I wanted Woody. I think my brother wanted Buzz, and my mum, like she said, she's telling me about it the other day. She went everywhere to get these toys, and these, I guess, this was before Amazon and stuff like that. Well, it was
Yeah.
before Amazon, so it wasn't as easy to get things online. There was no online when I was that age, but she managed to get the Woody and the Buzz, and it was like the best, man. So memories like that, they're so special.
Well, and that's the thing. That's why I said like it's one of those things where it's so nostalgic,
Hmm.
where you're able to look back at any age and be like, the memories are beautiful.
Hmm.
Like, you know, and that's one of those things too, where, it has to do with shit like my grandma's house. Like I've told you in other podcasts about how, being over there so much during the holidays, that energy stays there, and it's interesting too, because I was going to tell you, I remember the last podcast we talked about, like, you know, if my cousins had seen anything over there since they purchased the house back into the family.
Hmm.
My cousin, who actually like is part of the family and all that, she is getting ready to get married to this gentleman who is excellent dude. Shout out Galen, chill guy. he's one of the people that helped her buy the house back into the family, right? And he lives there the majority of the time while she lives out in California, and then like comes back and visits whenever the girls are in school and whatnot, right? And I asked him straight up, I was like, "You ever see anything weird in this place?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I see your grandparents at night sometimes, and I'll hear them going up and down the stairs or walk down the hallway." So,
Wow.
but yeah,
He sees him.
yep.
Did he say if he sees him in in like a full bodied apparition, or is it like
Let
how
me put it
does
this way: I didn't go too deep, but he looked me in the eyes and said he sees him. He said see your grandparents. Yeah.
wow, man.
So,
Interesting.
but yeah,
How does that make you feel to think that your grandparents are still there? Or do you think it's that their energy? What do you think? I don't know if I've
I,
ever asked you that.
let me put it this way: I feel like Grandma wouldn't like all the shit they did to that.
Yeah.
But
That's why she's coming back.
yeah, well, and then on top of that, my grandpa, there's like no fucking carpet in there anymore besides in the living room. Like there used to be carpet everywhere because it was a '50s house. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So there was carpet all over the place, and there's like hardly any carpet in there now. And my grandpa used to sell carpet for a living, so I bet he's rolling in his grave thinking about all the carpet that's not there anymore that he left out. But yeah, other than that, no, you know, I think it's nice. It's one of those things where I go there and I feel like, because I never got to meet my grandpa, but I got to meet my grandma. It's it's nice to feel that energy of her still being there, especially whenever we all celebrate them. Where it's a beautiful thing.
Hmm. Yeah, man, for sure. I don't think I've spoke about this on the podcast before, but I never met my mum's mum, my nanny
Hmm.
Iris, and I've always had this connection to her. Like
Yep.
I've always felt like going back to when I was really little. Like I remember that there was a church that my mum and dad used to go to where they got married, and it was like a special church to the family. It's one of the oldest church, actually the oldest wooden church in the world, I believe. And it's like
Wow.
it was close to where we used to live. It's where my mum and dad got married, and it was like a special place. And I remember being there as a 5-year-old and getting really, I think I was 5. I'm pretty sure I was around that age, and I still remember this, but I got really like emotional. And I remember like my mum and dad and my granddad was there as well. They were like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, I can feel my nan." And I was saying this as a 5-year-old. That's quite weird, but
Yeah.
I honestly could. And I've always had this weird, and apparently as well, when I was 2 years old or 18 months, wherever it was, I wasn't talking, but apparently I said out loud, I pointed at a picture on the side and said Iris, which is my nan's name. And my mum was like, at the time, she was like, "What?" Because if they referred to her, it'd be mum,
Yeah.
like if they were talking about her. So I wouldn't have known. I mean, possibly I could have heard it, I guess, but it's a bit strange. And I've
Yeah.
just always had
There-
this connection.
That's beautiful. And I love those types of connections because like I said, it's one of those things where to be able to feel that energy there, they're with you, you
Hmm.
know, and that's why I love, you know, being able to be over at my grandparents' house and still feel them there. It's like,
Hmm.
yes, grandma and grandpa are still here.
Hmm. Yeah, man.
They're with us.
Brother, you're gonna make me cry. This is meant to be a fun Christmas episode. I'm getting all emotional.
Uh,
But no, it's cool, man. It's amazing. It is cool.
yeah.
It is special. Ah, where do we go?
Right.
You're trying not to cry.
I'll tell you what, I had a really strange thing happen to me recently.
What, since we last spoke?
Yeah. Probably one of the strangest things I've ever had happen.
Whoa.
So, and that's saying a lot because I know you've heard a lot of my dreams.
Yeah, man.
But so I've always had pretty, to put it mildly, messed up dreams, with my PTSD and whatnot.
Hmm.
But one thing that I never had is I never had something from my dream follow me into like reality, right? And I had a dream where I was in bed and I was being held down, and it was like a bunch of, I don't know if they were doctors or what they were, but they were wearing like masks and whatnot and wearing like lab coats. And they grabbed my wrist and they pulled my arm out and they injected into my vein, like right here onto my wrist. And I remember waking up right after that, right? But the thing is, though, is I don't know if you can see, but right there,
You've
I
actually
woke
got a
up.
mark.
Yeah, I woke up and there was a hole right where it leads into my vein.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
When was this, brother?
this was like, this would have been last week.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
wild. And that is where you was injected in the dream.
yeah, right there. I remember clearly. It was right, oh, right there, right into this portion of my vein. And you can see, because I mean, my veins run pretty good. Runs right up there, boom,
Yeah.
right where it is.
And there's still a hole there.
Yeah, like I, right
That
there.
is whoa.
So
Man.
yeah, no, that shit was crazy. I remember, well, because I remember whenever it happened, I woke up and I didn't even realize that it happened.
Hmm.
Like, I didn't look at my hand immediately. I remember waking up suddenly, and you know me, I'm fight. I don't have,
Yeah, you
you know,
get the guns out.
I
Yeah.
don't have fight or anything like that. That's the other shit's not in there. So it's immediately fight. So
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to hit everybody type deal, right? I wasn't even thinking about grabbing the guns or anything. I'm just sitting there getting like I'm about to beat the shit out of somebody because I already hate needles.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And my wife asked me, she's like, yo, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. It was just a weird dream. And I go back to sleep, right? And like later in the day, like probably like 30 minutes go by after like waking up like fully. And I went to go put my watch on and I felt it. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I looked and there was a needle puncture right there on my wrist. And I'm like, what the fuck? But the thing is, though, is that I know that it wasn't from my watch because whenever I go to sleep at night, I take my watch off the same way I do every night. So I
Hmm.
take it off, and as I'm taking it off, I look at my wrist, right? And nothing was there at all. And then whenever I go to put it on, I'm like, shit. Because it wasn't even my watch that bumped into it, it was my finger
Hmm.
that touched against it and it hurt.
Whoa, man.
Yeah. That
So
was,
in the dream,
yeah.
you say it was a doctor.
I don't know what the fuck they were. There was like a group of people that were holding me down, which I can imagine why. You know, six
Hmm.
three,
Yeah.
290 pounds. Like it doesn't take a lot to hold.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And like I
Could
said, I remember grabbing my arm like that, and I'm trying to yank it back, and they push it straight into the fucking wrist, and then inject. And right after that, I jolted awake.
yeah. So you
And like,
woke up straight from that moment.
yeah, right after it was injected.
And could you feel it as if like you could feel the
Oh
pain
yeah,
was real?
yeah, yeah. I can fucking feel it. I felt it hurt. It hurt like a motherfucker. Like I said, I already hate needles. So like, I remember in my dream, I'm sitting there like trying to beat the shit, beat the shit out of the guy,
Yeah.
and couldn't. They were holding me down, and then all of a sudden, injected me. And right after, like I saw the plunger go down, I woke up immediately.
Bro. Did you so that the whatever these things were, the doctors, could you see like faces or was there
Uh,
any
they were like wearing a mask, like doctor's mask type shit.
oh man.
And I was in my bed too in the dream. Like I wasn't anywhere else. Like it was literally like as if I was just in bed. Like doctors swarmed the fucking room, and then
Hmm.
were putting shit into me. Not,
Whoa.
but like,
Well, did that feel like because I have dreams where I know I sort of know it's a dream. Like once I wake up, I know like okay, that was a weird
let
dream.
me put it this way: it didn't feel like a fucking dream.
It felt real.
Yeah, it felt real. Like, because like I said, like I have a very specific fear of needles, and like, yeah, I got fucking tattoos and whatnot, but like, I
Hmm.
do
Yeah,
not
it's
like
different. Yeah.
at all. I hate needles. So, like, whenever that was happening, I could feel the fear, and like I said, I felt the needle go into my fucking wrist. That fucking needle was like that long, and I felt it go into my wrist, and I felt the fluid get injected, and right after that, I woke up.
Man. Was it like a paralysis? I don't know if you've ever had sleep paralysis. Have we ever
No,
spoke about it?
it wasn't paralysis because I was fighting like a motherfucker.
Oh,
Like
you
I was,
could move.
yeah, I could move. I was wiggling around and shit trying to get out. Like I said, I was like my entire goal is to just beat the shit out of the guy with the needle. Like I was like, you're
Yeah.
inject me, and then sure enough, the motherfucker injected me.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Well, knowing you, he's lucky he didn't get a shot at.
I'll tell you what,
I know the gun's never far away.
I would have dog walked the hell out of him. Even if I did grab a gun, I was gonna beat the shit out of him. I'd have thrown it through the 2-story window.
Yeah,
But
man. So
yeah,
that's wild, bro. You know what this sounds like to me? What I've heard. That
it sounds
sounds
like
like
abduction.
abduction. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is too is, and this is crazy because I don't know if I ever told you about this. I used to wake up a shit ton with blood in my bed, and I wouldn't be bleeding from anywhere. Like I remember there was a while where whenever I was growing up, I'd have really bad bloody noses, but this would be like where because like if you're having a bloody nose, like especially if you bleed through the nose like me, like I mean I bleed like a stuck hog, so I'm just fucking leaking everywhere, right? So like whenever I would have those bloody noses, it'd be all over the pillow. Like it'd look like somebody shot me in the face whenever I woke up. Like it looked like a homicide.
Hmm.
But there'd be times where it'd just be like, little blood splotches and shit on my pillows or on my sheets and whatnot. And I would check and I'm like, I'm not bleeding anywhere, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I remember hearing about that whenever I used to investigate a lot of that shit, where, people that would be abducted would have those things, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, though, is it's like, me being such a person where I don't want to be biased as hell, I'm not immediately being like, oh, been abducted. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm just like, you know what? I don't know what the fuck it is. It's weird, but fuck it. Like, I'm just going to mind my own business and go to work.
Yeah.
But I've had that shit since I was a kid,
Well, do you know when that? Can you remember when that started? What age you was?
probably like 13.
Okay.
But really, you know what's crazy? See, look, and I love whenever I talk to you about shit like this because it always takes me down a rabbit hole where I start remembering more shit. I think I told you about it on the podcast one time. I remember there was a dream that I had where I had woken up and I'd walked into my parents' bedroom. And in my parents' bedroom, they have this, like, it's a window that looks out in the backyard. And, like, you can see over the tree line and everything like that. And I remember walking into the back, or like walking up to that window and looking into the backyard and over the tree line. I remember seeing flying saucers and shit there. And I always just kind of thought it was just like a fucking strange dream. But then like now, like looking back and after talking about this, it's like, like,
Yeah. Yeah,
who
man.
knows?
Because a
But
lot of the times with abduction and from talking to people that have experienced this and from what I've sort of gathered, and it's not always the scenario, but
yeah,
sometimes dreams, sleep, and abduction is connected. Like
yeah,
that's normally when it happens. It's normally in like a sleep state. There seems to be something to that, man.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is it's like, so give me a great example of this shit, right? Is so my brother, okay, he he always had weird shit going on, but like one of the weirdest things he ever told me, and like I trust him like the back of my hand. He's not even my blood brother, but I've known him for we've known each other coming on. What it have been 22 years now because I met
Mhm.
him whenever I was no, it'll be 23 years now because I met him whenever I was 3,
Mhm.
and we've been friends ever since. But he's one of those people that he'll bullshit sometimes, but he's a straight shooter. Like if he's telling me something, he's serious. Like he's being real. I remember he told me a story about whenever he was in the military. He was out on over there in I want to say it was Pendleton. Is either I don't know the bases or anything, but he was over in Oceanside, California, and he fell asleep on his couch one night. And he says he remembers, you know, waking up, not being able to move, and he floated upward off the couch like that and started going towards the window. And there was a bright light and like a humming outside the window, like like that. And then he just woke up and he was just on the couch.
Whoa.
So
And that's why he was serving in the military.
yeah, that was where he was. Yeah, that was whenever he was serving in the military.
Interesting.
But he wasn't doing any crazy shit. I always fuck with him because like he was a radio maintenance guy. So like he'd like work on like walkie talkies and shit.
Hmm.
But like in order to do that, because of the technology that's in there, he has to have top secret clearance. But it's like just basic shit, right? It's
Tell me
like
what
no,
you know, brother. Tell us what you
it's
know.
like nothing major, but it's just like basic shit where it's just like the specific like battery parts and all that like that aren't like public knowledge and shit. And I always bullshit with him. I'll be like, you know shit. You
Yeah.
know shit. You're just not telling us. And then he'll be like, I don't know anything about it.
Wow. Was that a one-off experience for him, or was that
Yeah, I
something
think that
else?
was unless there's other shit that he hasn't told me about, which I probably would have heard about it by now.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's the only one that I heard from him. But like I said, I like after talking to you about that, it's really making me look back at some of the shit that's happened in my life.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I don't
Well,
know.
that's the other thing as well. A lot of people don't realize this is happening to them until because it's like not an obvious. Oh, they've taken me. As you say, in a dream state, it's very difficult to know what is going on, and
Yeah.
it takes a lot of people time to. It's normally like listening to other people talk about it, and the dots connect, and they're like, you know what, I've experienced that,
Well,
and you.
and that's the thing is, it's like I said, it was real enough to me where I was like trying, like I woke up swinging. You know what I mean? And I'm glad
Mhm.
I didn't. There wasn't anybody fucking standing over me because if there was, they probably would have
Yeah,
got rocked.
yeah.
Like it, I don't know. It's so hard because, like I said, I don't know. Like my mind wants to be able to be like, oh, it was just a dream, but then like I got the fucking shit on my arm.
Yeah, that's very
You
strange,
know,
man.
and
Yeah.
like here, I have a picture of it that's even better than being able to see it over the camera and whatnot.
Hmm.
Let me see here. So that was it fresh.
Oh wow. So for the listeners listening, that you can see that there is definitely there's a gash there. Yeah, there
Yeah.
is a.
Like, I mean, that's,
And was it hurting? Was there pain on that? Like
oh, hell yeah.
I know a little thing like that's not going to hurt you too much, but could you
Yeah.
feel it? Like when you cut your hand or something and you get that little.
Fuck yeah. Duh. It felt and it felt like after you get a shot, like that, or it's
Interesting.
almost that pressure pain where it's
Yeah.
not just like a sharp pain, but it's like a pressure with it type deal. That's what
Hmm.
it felt like.
Man.
Yeah.
When you was in that state and you was seeing these, we'll say doctors,
Yeah.
you were seeing these doctors around you. Was the room as it was when you woke up, or was it slightly
Exactly.
different? Oh,
Exactly
okay.
as it was. It was as if they were there, and then all of a sudden, once I got hit with that shot, they were gone.
Yeah.
And
Because
like,
I,
let me put it this way: there's zero time. Like, how do I put this? It was if like I blinked and they were gone. Like it was like as if whenever they hit me with that injection,
Mhm.
like that's whenever I was able to get out and then start trying to hit people. Right. So yeah.
Wow, brother. And when you was younger, obviously you had waking up with blood around you. That's very strange as well, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was I don't know. Like I said, like I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, I've been abducted because like I don't know.
Hmm.
Like now if I
Yeah.
was, obviously you'd be one of the first people I'd tell.
Yeah, I'd hope so, man.
but
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 when you was younger and you was experiencing, because that's the other thing as well with sometimes these sort of topics. When you're a kid, you don't really realize what's going on. Like
yeah.
you're taking it in as you're just experiencing it. You don't know what's happening until you get older and you look back and you're like, that was weird that I saw that in my room, or that feeling
Yeah.
I had, or you know.
Well, and that's the hard part about it because it's like, also first beer of the night.
Let's
Uh,
go, brother. I'll
but
cheers you with my energy drink.
yes. Also, what the fuck was that on your camera?
I don't know. What was it, man?
That
What
was
what
strange.
happened?
There was like this like white fog type mist that appeared
Are
on,
you serious, brother?
like 100% real. Like,
What, just now?
yeah, just now, just now.
Oh, bro, I'm very scared when that sort of thing happens.
Yeah, but it was like in front of you.
What, it came up in front of the camera? I
Yeah,
mean, I'll be able to look back when we stop recording, but
yeah,
what?
yeah. No,
I
here,
do
hold on.
get weird stuff going on in this.
Timestamp this so that way you know where
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how long are we in?
So we're nearly half an hour in, I think,
Okay, so yeah, about
or
30
about
minutes.
or 40 minutes.
Yeah,
40
so
minutes in.
But yeah, no,
Whoa! What a
yeah,
light just came up in
yeah,
because I've
yeah.
had
I
that.
thought it was a glare. I thought at first I thought it was a glare, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what the fuck? No, it's not a glare.
Whoa! Weird things do happen in this house, man. There's been a lot of weird stuff. As I was telling you last time we talked,
Yeah.
there's
Any other
been
weird shit been going on?
since we last spoke. Not that I'm aware of. No, I've not noticed anything out of the ordinary since we last spoke. Um, but yeah, it seems to have calmed. Whatever was going on seems to have calmed. But I think I
That's,
told you at the time that I sort of I prayed out loud and sort of asked
yeah.
whatever it was to leave because it wasn't. I don't want it in the house, man.
No,
I don't want it in the
no.
house. I think you do invite this, as I say a lot on the show, you do invite this stuff in when you look into it. And I do think it's around us all the time anyway. I don't think it's something we can always get rid of, whatever is going on with the paranormal. But when it's upsetting the kids and stuff, I want you out, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. That's why, like, because at first, like, I thought it was just a glare, and then I realized it was gone,
That's
and I'm like,
weird.
what the fuck? Like, yeah, no, that was strange.
Oh man, I'm looking forward
Strange.
to looking back at that. Oh, it'll be even weirder as well if nothing's like we can't see it on the camera, but you saw it because that happens. Stuff like that happens as well, where
Yeah,
the
no,
cameras don't pick it up, but I'm sure it will.
it literally went like right around in this area, like right in the center,
How
and
big
was
was it?
damn near like if I'm so like if we're going off of like my camera, probably like that, but like this.
Oh man, what could that be? That's not dust.
No, no, like I
Oh,
don't know, I don't know. We're gonna have to like look back and
yeah.
see, but yeah, that was strange.
Oh, interesting. Right, back to your abduction.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I don't know. I've always had you know weird shit happening growing up,
Hmm.
and it's one of those things where I don't know. Like I said, I can't just be like, oh yeah, though I was abducted because like I don't know
Hmm.
what. But like at the end of the day, though, it's one of those things where it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it,
Well,
but
this happened to you last week, and a
yeah,
couple of weeks before, we was talking about your UFO that you saw in the sky.
yep.
You know, is it linked? Is there a link? Maybe. I know
Who knows?
we're just guessing, but you don't know, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's strange.
Did
Like
anything else happen strange that day? Was there any other high strangeness that you're aware of that day, or a feeling, or anything like that?
no, like, and I'm usually very like keen on picking that shit up,
Yeah, yeah.
and nothing. Like I don't remember anything happening like that.
Hmm. Interesting. So has that ever happened before, where you've
No,
sort of been in a dream state and because I've experienced that. I've experienced stuff like that, but mine's more, I would say, it's more of a paralysis when I'm experiencing it, which I
yeah,
think, I do think that's paranormal. I know that, that some people say it's a natural thing. From what I've experienced, I don't think it is natural. I think there's something going on there. Um,
yeah. I Let me put it this way: that's the first time that I've ever had that.
mhm,
Like hands down, the only time that I've ever had anything like that happen.
mhm.
It was one of the strangest fucking things that I've. Because, like I said, it was weird because it's hard for me to process it. Because, like I said, at first I didn't realize that it was a dream.
Yeah,
Like I'm sitting there trying to swing at these guys.
yeah.
Because, like I said, I don't have any other response than fight. So whenever that happened, I'm immediately like, I got to start beating the shit out of people.
Hmm.
There's no other option.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was like the moment that that shit went in, I felt it go in, and I was released. And then like I'm in my room, like my eyes opened up, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Mm.
So
Yeah. That's so weird that you got the mark, man. Because I guess if you didn't have the mark the next day, you'd probably go, "All right, that was a weird dream." You know,
yeah,
weird dream. Won't forget about it because you can't forget about stuff like that. But let's not worry about it. But the fact that you've got the mark there as well in the exact spot and it's
yeah,
painful, that's
that's the
weird.
that's the weirdest part. Well, because I remember because I went to see my counselor that day too, and I told her about it, and she's like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's strange. Like I always talk with her about spooky shit and whatnot.
Yeah.
And my counselor's office is haunted. Fun fact. I don't know if I ever told you about that story.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm in there one time, and I'm walking down the hallway to go to her office, and like, because she always comes out of her office, and she says, "You come on in there," and right. And as I'm walking up there, I look past her, and it looks like there's a guy in like a 1930s style business suit that like leans around the corner, just smiles and goes back, right. And I'm like, Jamie, you got anybody down there? She's like, no. Why? What are you talking about? And I said, there's a guy in a business suit that just leaned around the corner. And we both went over there and looked. Sure enough, there's nobody over there. But
Whoa.
but this is downtown. Like, so in this area, there's a lot of like old shit that was going on down there. I mean, like these buildings are, like almost 100 years old.
Hmm.
Some of them are 100 years old.
Yeah.
So, like, who knows what it was? Like, I don't like it could have been. Oops, it could have just been my eyes.
But
Like,
was that solid? Was that a solid form apparition?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Like I clearly remember, like it looked like a person. Like it didn't even look like a ghost. And like I've seen, spirits and shit, and whatnot. And like I've seen whenever like, you're looking at somebody and you're like, oh, well, they look transparent. Like no, this was a solid. Like it literally looked like some dude was like, hey, what's going
Hmm.
on?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Back around.
Yeah. Wow. We talked about it before, but that is obviously when I was a kid and I saw the man sitting in my room that looked like
Yeah,
William Shakespeare. He
yeah,
was as solid as me and you right now.
yeah,
He was just a man was in my room.
yeah,
And the lady that I saw walk past me in the same house as a kid, she was
yeah.
a solid naked lady at the time that was just walking past me, and who I thought was my mum. I often wonder, man, and I know I've probably said this to you before, but who knows when we're walking in the park and we see a dude walking past as if
Oh
he's,
yeah.
you know, we don't know.
Well, well, I mean, you think about this, right? Is it's like, and shout out to Steve Stockton. You know who Steve Stockton is?
I've heard that name,
Bro, you
but
got
I'm
like,
terrible with names, man.
you gotta. So listen to his shit. He
Hmm.
has a lot of. He has a book that you can find on Spotify. I'm gonna plug his shit because
Yep.
Steve Stockton's cool. I've never met him, but we got to get him on the podcast at some point.
Yeah, man.
But he has a book called "Strange Stories in the Woods." I don't want to say is what it's called, but I'm gonna look that up real quick that way I don't butcher it, just to be sure. My goodness, I hate iPhones. Um, let's see here, but he was talking about a story one time where there was a person that saw an apparition, and she was surprised by the apparition, and the apparition was surprised by her, and then it disappeared.
Hmm.
So it's one of those things of like, you know, is like the house. Who's the house haunted by?
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that
man.
be the ghost.
Yeah. Are we
So
seeing a ghost or are we seeing another entity in another dimension or realm or whatever you want to call it?
it's Strange Things in the Wood by Steve Stockton.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah, great book. And it's literally like, so the reason I love that book, and I know you're fucking gonna love it, Tommy, is it's a book that's basically like our conversations. So like what he did was he went around and he talked to all these old timers and like took stories that he heard growing up from old timers and whatnot and put them into a book. But he wrote them in the book the same way that they were told to him. So it's not like him telling the story. It's like you're hearing it from the people that are telling the story originally.
Ah, that's
So
cool.
yeah, no, it's a cool book, and he has like
Yeah,
a books like that. They're great. So shout out Steve
interesting.
Stockton. Got to get you.
Interesting, man. Yeah, I'll get him on. We've got to talk to him, man. Interesting.
So,
Yeah, brother.
but
Because you're very open to this sort of stuff. Like you've
oh,
seen
yeah,
a lot of stuff. Would you, I don't know, I've probably asked you this before, but would you consider yourself, what would you see yourself as a sensitive or how would you?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly think that like because I know my mom, you know, she's very very open to shit like that. But I'm adopted too, so it's like I don't know if it's just from being around my parents so much that
Mhm.
then I kind of like picked up on it or what. But my mom's seen so much shit over the years, and there's shit that my mom and I have both seen that, like, you know, like I remember still there is, and I think I told you the story, but I can't remember. Is we went on this ghost tour in Gettysburg one time, right? And they had this little ghost box, and we were in the. Do you know about the orphanage in Gettysburg?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so there's this orphanage, like to give you kind of a rundown. There's this orphanage in Gettysburg, and basically it was ran by this piece of shit woman who was very abusive to the children there, right? And uh, long story short, she was horrible to these kids, and now like the place is haunted as hell. But it's definitely one like I'm doing the story injustice. But you guys, anybody that's listening, you guys gotta look up that story if you don't know about it already. Tommy, you gotta look it up.
Hmm.
But we're in there and they're doing this ghost box shit, right? And it's going through all the radio channels and all that, and like certain words are coming out. And then it just went quiet for like 5 minutes. And my mom leaned over to me and she's like, I wonder if grandma's going to come through. Right after she says that, it says Alice, which is my grandma's name.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I mean, immediately.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
right before it happened, my mom and I both felt a cold chill, and then that name came through immediately.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't believe in coincidences or, especially
No.
since doing this podcast as well, man. Like things like that don't just happen. What's the chances of that?
Like, and I mean, especially because I mean, we're right after saying it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, literally, mom looked over at me and she said, I wonder if grandma's going to come through. Right after saying that, it said Alex. Right before it said that, we felt a cold chill.
Yeah,
It literally just felt like a cold breeze. Like, if, how do I
that's
put it?
cool.
You ever felt somebody like walk by you and then like breeze follows behind them? That's what it
Hmm.
felt right after
Yeah.
that. It was Alex, is what we heard.
Wow.
Now, what grandma was doing in Gettysburg, I have no idea. But like,
But that's cool that your mum experienced that. And you experienced that with your mum as well.
yeah,
Like you both felt that and yeah.
yeah,
Interesting stuff, brother.
yeah,
So other than the abduction, I'll call it an abduction.
yeah.
We don't know what it was. But has there been anything else that's happened to you?
I don't like, not that I can really know of. I mean, like, yeah, I've had weird shit go on, but like, nothing like out of the normal weird shit that goes
Hmm.
on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's probably, like I said, the weirdest shit that I've ever had happen.
Yeah.
Like, my entire life was that. I mean, that was fucking crazy.
Wow.
I I still don't understand. Like, it's 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 one of those things that it broke my understanding for a little bit because it's
Hmm.
like I've never had that happen where it followed me into the real world.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like,
man.
I've had weird dreams my whole life, like I've had dreams where, I've been shot or I've fought people and whatnot. And it's like, but that's normal for me. But to have something follow me into reality where there's actually like a puncture hole and everything, it's like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, maybe some regression to have there, brother. See if there's any hidden memories there.
I don't know, maybe. I'll tell you what, I don't know. That
Mhm.
was, like I said, that's probably one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, yeah. Was you scared? Was there fear there as well? I know you wanted
No,
to
it was just,
fight.
no, I was just,
Hmm.
I was pissed because, like, like I said, I hate needles. So I
Hmm.
was really angry about that. And I didn't want the fucking needle to go in my arm. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
give about anything else. Like, it wasn't, that's the funny part too, is it's like, it wasn't strange to me that they were like grabbing a hold of me and all that. All I was thinking, like, fuck that needle. Nope,
Hmm.
nope, nope, nope. And then whenever they grabbed my arm like that, they yanked the shit out of my arm too. And immediately just like that. And I remember looking at it, and as soon as that plunger went down and I felt the liquid go into my arm, that's whenever I would like came through and like went to go punch, and there was nobody there. So
Whoa.
yeah,
Was your partner next to you when this happened as well?
yeah, yeah. She was laying right next to me.
Was she there in when you was having the like
I don't know. I,
attack?
I wasn't even paying attention to her. I was so focused on trying to beat the shit out of the guy with
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
needle. Uh,
I mean, I've had dreams where I've so I don't know if I've shared this on the show. I think I have, but a little while ago. So my little boy sometimes gets in the middle of us at night, and he'll
Yep.
sleep in the middle of us. And so I woke up to him screaming at something at the door. It was
Oh,
horrible, absolutely like so horrible. And I was like, Fred, you okay, mate? And then I woke up and he was just asleep. The wife's asleep, and I was like, and it felt a bit like a paralysis, like a sort of an attack, but I could move and stuff. And the room felt as real as it was when I was awake. And it was the strangest thing, man. And I was like, that was horrible. That
I hate
that that
shit.
was so strange because
Well,
I could see it and hear it, and it was
yeah,
real.
yeah. Well, now I've had dreams like that to where like shit's happening in the dream. You wake up and it feels like you're like, did I just wake up or did like I just come back to from what's happening?
Hmm.
So like I'll give you a perfect example, right? Like, oh, I'm trying to think on how to put this. So you ever been in a fight?
Hmm.
Okay. You know, after you get hit for that first time, right? And
I'm
it's like
down. I'm down.
it's those good ones where it really
Yeah.
like right?
Hmm.
And it's like that moment where you were in the moment and you were still in the moment when you got hit, but after you got hit, you come back to, right?
Hmm.
And it's not even like you're knocked out. You're just like, holy shit. Okay, yep. Okay, let's get back, right?
Yeah.
It's like that. That's what that feeling is like, where it's like, you know, you were never really asleep, is what it feels like. It's like you're there and you're like, okay, what the fuck? And that's like whenever
Yeah.
you look down at your boy and you're sitting there and he's just laying there and you're
Mhm.
like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
what the hell? And
Yeah,
it's
man.
like I said, it's like coming back to. It's not even like you're waking up. It's like you're coming back to from like what you just saw.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just in
And then,
another state.
yeah, and then it's like a shock to the body again whenever you're looking and like everything's normal and you're like,
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I mean, I've had dreams where I've woke up, got dressed for work, and then I'm open my eyes again, and I'm like, mate, I've just done this. What's
I
going on?
I hate that. It's the worst because
That's
then
the
you're
worst.
just starting to back over.
Yeah, yeah. It's strange, man. It is strange. There to me, 'cause before I did this podcast, even like I used to be like, okay, dreams are weird, but they're dreams. My
Yeah.
whole opinion has changed.
Oh
The
yeah.
amount of people I've spoke to and the experiences I've had, you know, uh, there's something going on, man. There's something more going on in the dream world, whatever it is. I don't know. I know. I talk to a lot of people that have got some good ideas and work on this sort of stuff, but there's definitely more going on. That's all I'll say. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I love the mystery. It's the
Yeah,
thrill there. You know what I mean?
yeah, man.
Gives us something to do.
Yeah, yeah. Keeps us talking.
Job security.
So we was also going to talk ghost stories tonight, keeping up with the theme of the Victorian days.
Oh yeah.
We'll share a few ghost stories. I've got a couple. I think you've got a couple, and
Yeah.
these are real ghost stories that
Yep.
I've been told and you've been told, and we're gonna send you all back to the Victorian days, and we're gonna sit around the campfire, and we're gonna tell a ghost story. Let's go.
Yeah. You want to go first or me, brother?
I don't mind, man. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go ahead and go first. Let's hear your ghost.
Okay. I've got one from France, which is what my mum told me. It's one of her friends. And then another one is from a work friend. She told me her story a couple of weeks ago. And I'm not sure I'm meant to be telling it, but I won't give any names out or
Yeah,
anything
no,
like that. She told me in confidence, but no, I'm sure she won't mind me telling. I won't say any names or anything like that. But when someone tells me their story, I'm like, "Do you want to come on the podcast and share that?" And
yeah,
and a lot of the time they go, "No, I'm not. I don't want to go on a podcast," and that's fine. I get it. But so there's so many people that have had wild stories, and this person in particular as well, sort of. And even though I'm about to tell you what she experienced and it was wild, she's still like, I don't know what's going on. I still don't know like, if I believe it even.
it's
And
the no, but it's understandable.
mhm, yeah, because it's wild. And I do think when you experience something wild like what you're going to hear, it's either going to make you go, right, run into the paranormal. Let's look into it. Let's find out more. Chances are you're going to have more experiences,
Yeah.
or it's going to switch you off. I don't want to know. That wasn't real. Let's not talk about it ever again. I think that's sort of the case with this one. So so this starts in from where I used to live in London, in Epping Forest, which is where this lady now lives round where I live now, but she is from London as well. And she's lived here for a lot longer than me. But anyway, I won't say any names. So, um, so basically, she was in Epping Forest. She was a teenager at this time. She was around about 13. And Epping Forest, I don't know if you've heard of it in the UK. It's a huge forest.
Yeah.
It's sort of it's London to Essex. It's a massive area with a huge amount of history. You know, there's a lot of ghost stories. There's a lot of legends. There's a lot of gangsters in London that buried people in that forest. You know, up till probably today.
Yeah.
I hope not, but probably. And there's a lot of mystery to it, and it's big as well. And this girl, I think she was with another friend, and they were with a group of girls in the forest. And these girls were a little bit older, so they were probably about 15, 16, but they were all hanging around together. And she said that they were practicing. She didn't say they were witches, and I'm not saying that I know some lovely witches, but they were practicing some bad stuff. They were conjuring
Yeah.
some negative stuff, you know.
Yeah.
They were young girls that, I don't know what, and as well, I must say that the area that she was from, I won't say the name of it, but because I don't know, but what the actual name, but the town is connected to witchcraft that goes
Yeah.
way back. So that's there as well. So anyway, these girls were practicing something, conjuring up something in the woods. The friend that told me this story and her friend didn't like it and were like, we're getting out of here. We are getting away from these girls. What they're doing is not good, and we need to leave. And I think, the older girls that were doing this sort of stuff weren't happy about this. Anyway, they got away. So the two youngsters got away from the situation and were heading home. As they were going home, they were like obviously talking about what they'd experienced, and obviously they thought it was strange. They didn't, as she said, she didn't really understand what was going on at the time. She was very young. She was 13, but she didn't really understand. And as they were walking home, she said they both saw, her and her friend that were walking home, saw a shadow go across one of the houses, like a big figure, something like, they both got a really, obviously a bad feeling and started running. As they were running, she said that the whole vibe of the area changed. Like there was just a bad feeling in the air. And
Yeah.
she said cats just started going crazy in the street. There was loads of cats all of a sudden running around, going crazy. The cat sounds that are not nice running around. And she said that the drains started moving, all the drains on the floor. And they were just running home. Let's get home. Let's get home. They saw this dark shadow, and then all this activity started happening. Her and her friend got back to the house, ran upstairs, got to their room. She said they locked the door and they could hear all night, all that night, things running up and down the
Oh.
stairs and banging
Oh.
on the door all night. She said it happened. And she told me this story, and I was like, that's incredible. And you're still not sure if you believe in the paranormal. That, well, it happened a long time ago. It's something that I didn't like and that I didn't want to deal with, basically. And the sort of, I would say, pushed it away. And fair enough, if you don't want to experience stuff like that, and
Yeah.
I don't blame you, because that's a very scary experience. But yeah, that was one of someone told me that a few weeks ago, and I was like, I need to share that on the podcast somewhere. She doesn't want to come on and talk about it, which is fair enough. I hope she doesn't mind me sharing it. As I say, no names. But that
Oh
happened. That happened, man. So thoughts on that one, brother?
man.
Hmm.
I'll tell you what. I mean, look, I've always said this. This is why you got to choose the people that you kick it with. You know what I mean? You got to choose wisely.
Hmm.
Because could you picture if they didn't think to run?
Yeah, man. What would have happened? Yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's
yeah.
the scary part. Like, I've always said that too. Is it's like, there's certain people in this world that like without even having to conjure shit, they just carry bad energy with them.
100%.
You
Yeah.
know, and
You can feel it.
they don't even mean to.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, and it's like there's just some people that it's best to just stay clear from. And
Hmm.
nothing against anybody that practices any type of stuff like that, but it's just like there's certain people in this world that want nothing but bad.
Hmm. Hmm.
It is like the old Batman quote. It's like some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, man.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's that sounds like what these other two people were doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
and to be able to be caught in the middle of that, it's like fuck that. Like
Hmm.
I don't know. That's why I keep like the same like five people around me.
Hmm. Yeah, man, for
Like
sure.
so,
Whatever they were conjuring up there wasn't good.
it was not
And
good. Well,
obviously the shadow that
our
they saw on the she said it was like a big shadow that just sort of seemed to be like it was hard to explain, but like a big shadow, sort of like the shape of a body, basically. There was something there. There
yeah.
seemed to be an entity there. And yeah, that's scary, man.
Well, and whatever it was had to be powerful as hell to be able to do all that and interact farther from
Hmm.
what happened.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Make,
also interact
making
with
the
the environment.
drains.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the cats and all the cats. So the energy of the whole area must have changed, whatever that was.
Phew.
And yeah, man. And then to get into the safety of your house, into
And then
your room,
still
and to
going on.
still hear it coming up and down the stairs and banging on the yeah.
Now, what I would be
I hope I've
curious,
done that justice. But
now what
that's
I
what
would
she
be
told me.
curious on would be if she's had other shit happen since that.
She said no, because that was one of my first. I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, she's lucky because, like, could you picture if it would have stayed attached to her?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
You
Yeah,
know,
man. Yeah, yeah, man. It isn't bad thinking about.
damn.
Dangerous stuff, brother. Dangerous stuff. So that's my first one.
Okay, okay. I'll tell you what. I got. I got one for you. So there's a handful of ghost stories in our town. Like our town is unbelievably haunted, and this one actually has to do with my dad. And my dad, I'm pretty sure I've told you this story before, but I feel like a lot of my ghost stories are probably going to be retellings and shit that I've already told you.
That's
But
cool,
these
man.
are from like some of our first podcast episodes together. So, but there's a there's a cemetery here in town, and it's outside of town. It's oh shit, I want to say it's near Cerro Gordo. Not 100% sure though, but it's called Peck Cemetery. So Peck Cemetery, right? And one of the urban legends is that there was a witch that was buried there, right? And the one that I heard, and obviously, like, I don't know if it's true or not, is that there is a witch that was getting ready to go on trial. And she killed herself in her cell by breaking apart the bricks in her cell and eating them and swallowing them and killing herself like that. Right. And supposedly she's buried there. Well, my dad in the 80s and the 90s was a news photographer. Okay. And there was a story that was going on there where there were kids that were desecrating children's graves and basically pulling the bones out and doing sacrifices with them and whatnot. Real evil shit. And my dad told me, and my dad, like, is a very straightforward, straight cut guy. Like, he's one of those people, like, listen, buddy, like, this is just how it happened. I don't know. I don't know if I believe in it, but like, you're a real straightforward guy. And he tells me, because at the time my dad was the news, so he was the chief photographer. So basically, he was the one that was in charge of like making sure the battery belts for the camera. Like if this gives you an idea of how long ago this shit was, they had battery belts that attached to their camera to basically charge the camera and the light on the camera, right? And he told me, he's like, I went through everything. He said, I changed out the batteries. I put brand new ones in. Everything was ready to go. He said it was the middle of summer, right? So, well, not the middle of summer. It was right around August. So, like in Illinois, whenever you come here, you're gonna find out real fucking quick how you're not gonna like that, August heat, because like right around August in Illinois it gets hot, and I mean like humidity hot,
Hmm.
and it's one of those ones that just lingers. Well, he goes into the cemetery. He said the first thing that happened whenever they first walked through the gates of the cemetery immediately the light on his camera started to dim. And the children's graves are in a plot in the very back of the cemetery. And he said the farther that he walked back towards that, the more it went dim, 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 dim. Once they got to where they were doing the rituals and whatnot on like on the children's graves, the light went completely out. And he said the moment they went into there, it got cold in the cemetery. And he said as they came back out of the cemetery, once they got into like the parking lot area, the light came back on, and it slowly came back on as they got away from the children's grave.
Oh,
So
that's wild,
yeah,
man.
and the crazy thing is though, is that, and look, this is why I always love, and I've always told you this shit. This is why I love telling ghost stories, because people always, it brings more out, right? Well, I was telling this story to a few buddies of mine whenever we used to hang out up at the Royal King parking lot. If anybody's listening that happened to used to go there, y'all might know about this. But two of my buddies used to live like nearby Peck Cemetery, right? And Peck Cemetery like butts up right along the river, right? And if you know, like energy can transfer through flowing water, right? But it can't cross it, so it can transfer and like go down river, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all along that river, there's always crazy shit that's going on. And one of my buddies was like, "That's strange that you mentioned that, because I had something weird happen to me from Peck Cemetery." So they used to throw their garbage in the what's it called? Oh shit! Nah, I'm blanking. It's those like big trash bins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a
So
skip.
yeah, well, I don't know what the either way, you know what I'm talking about. The huge
Yeah,
one, like the
yeah,
size
yeah.
of the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they used to throw their trash at, right? And he said that he came out one day and his mirrors were taken off of his car. And he's like, where the fuck are my mirrors at? Right? Couldn't find them at all. And he's like, okay, well, I got to go take the trash over. So he threw the trash bags in the back of his truck and he drove over. The first thing he sees whenever he looks down into those, like into the trash, is there's both of his mirrors are sitting there perfectly, just like that, like as if somebody set him down into that trash.
Whoa.
And you got to think like this thing's like right outside of sorry, my alarm's going off,
That's right,
but
brother.
uh it's right in front of the cemetery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
man.
he takes his shit out, obviously. He's like, fuck that, I'm not doing this again. And then they ended up starting to have shit stolen from them. So like power tools and whatnot and all sorts of shit that would just end up in front of Peck Cemetery. And like I'll tell you right now, like there's a lot of crackheads in my town, okay? If they steal something, they're gonna sell it. They're not
Yeah,
just gonna
yeah,
like put it in the trash. You know what I mean? So to have shit get stolen and then just moved, you know what I mean, all the way to in front of the cemetery is very strange.
yeah, man.
So
It's
that
like
okay,
it's
that
like
was
trickster activity.
that was strange again. What the fuck? There was it looked like a cloud of smoke went.
No way. It's happened again.
Yeah, but it was like black smoke, like a little black thing that just went by.
What? Right, there's nothing in here, man. There's no flies. There's no.
What the? It literally looked like, and I thought it was from one of my candles, but then I'm like, it's not gonna put off black smoke. But
Wow.
it looked like a black cloud, like not even like a big cloud, just like a little tuft of smoke came out.
All right, I'm gonna have to pray after this, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's not cool.
Well, let me put it this way,
Jeez.
the- and obviously I'm not there, but just off of seeing it, it doesn't feel malicious. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
I didn't get the vibe of it like being like, oh, whoa, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like oh, that was odd.
Interesting, man.
But man, two times tonight. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
We're gonna have to go back after this episode. I'm gonna have,
To look into that, man. It'd be strange as well, as I said, even if we can't see anything on the camera, but you've seen
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Because
because
that happens.
because I'll tell you like right now, like well, because the first one was definitely that. The second one, I don't know. My eyes might have been doing shit, but I swear, like
But
that
it's
was
not. I mean, yeah, there's no. There's
it was right in front of the face, like literally, like but right after it got past your head,
yeah,
it dissipated.
bro. See, we're telling ghost stories. Now I'm scared.
Look, it's time to. Look, that's over here having a drink, man. I gotta calm
Wow.
my nerves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
That's wild though, man.
but
So Peck
yeah,
Cemetery.
yep, Peck Cemetery. And the interesting thing is too is that after he told his story, our other buddy was like, it's strange that you mentioned that because I had a weird experience near Peck Cemetery, and he was staying at his buddy's house who lives like literally like not even 2 minutes down the road from Peck Cemetery, also along the river. And he said down this guy's driveway, they have this giant street light that basically like, it comes down. It's like a street. It's not even like a street light, but it's like a lamppost on an old farmhouse, right? And underneath that lamppost, they saw a little girl standing out there. And he was like, "Do you know her?" And he's like, "I don't know her at all." Right. So they go to get their parents. Sure enough, like, come back, like, she gone, no longer there. Right. And he was like, "Okay, that's a little weird." Right. And next thing you know, they're like, "Okay, time to go to bed and whatnot." Um, they're sitting there. And he said he slept on the couch and he was asleep, and all of a sudden he said he heard some person walk into the bathroom in the living room, right? And he said he heard the light turn on and everything, the door close, and he's like, oh, okay, well, I guess somebody's in there. And then he had to go piss, right? And he's like, ah, shit, I really gotta piss. Like, come on, like, hurry up. And like, he said he waited like 5 minutes, went by, then 10 minutes went by and nobody's there, like, he's like, what the fuck? Like, what are you, like, I guess you might have to shit, like, let's speed this up. Like, I had a piss. So he, goes up there, boom, 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 like, knocks on the door. Nobody answers, right? So he waits another 5 minutes. Nobody answers. Boom, boom, boom. Like, hey, like, come on. Like, I got to go to the bathroom. Nobody answers. He opens the door. The lights turned on. There's nobody in there, and the door was unlocked.
Oh man.
He said after that, he took a piss, and he was like, okay, this is a little weird, right? And he said he took a piss, and he came back out, went to go sit back down on the couch, and he said on the, like, oh, what is it? It's like one of those little end tables next to the couch, a bunch of picture frames. He said it looked as if somebody took their arm and swept it across like the thing and knocked all the picture frames off, right? But it knocked them off so hard that one stuck into the wall. Yeah,
Man.
yeah,
Wow. And that was the same night he saw the apparition of the possible apparition of a little
yeah,
girl.
yeah. All same night. Horrible night. Horrible
Jeez.
sleepover. He told me he was like, I went down there so fast to tell my buddy I need to go home. He's like, hey, I'm not waking my parents up. You're just gonna have to stay here. He's like, I'm sleeping with you then.
Man, I remember being younger and staying at friends' houses where I just heard a weird noise then, man. I don't know what that was. That was on the recording though. That was on the.
Did you hear a knock too, where it sounded like?
It's just, I don't know. It was just like a really weird. I don't know if it was my voice sort of echoing for some reason.
I don't know.
But
I heard it almost sounded like somebody like a tap tap tap.
oh man, they're playing with us now, man. They're playing with us now, brother. We've started something. We've started something. Oh,
Look at the great Christmas
yeah,
special.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Sleep well.
Yeah.
So when you stayed at a friend's house as a kid and you were scared and your mate
Oh yeah.
obviously he's at home so he doesn't give a crap and you're like just laying there like oh
Oh yeah.
I was there a few times, man, because I don't like the dark. So when you're staying around friends' houses, sometimes the lights are going off and you can't say, "Oh, can you leave a light on?" Like you're at your mate's house, so it's his rules. So
Look,
I remember being scared, man.
I was always kind of a I was always kind of a puss about that because I would sit there and like always call like Dad, I need to come home. So, but and it's funny too because once I hit like 14, like I did nothing besides stay at my brother's house all the time. So, but yeah, man, that's I remember hearing that story, and it was so crazy because it was like, but that's the cool part about telling ghost stories is that like you'll start bringing all this other shit out. You know,
Yes.
me telling one ghost story brought out two others.
Yeah, man.
It
Yeah.
all that had to do with the same place. That was
Yeah.
the one part.
There's definitely areas, and I mean, a cemetery is a spooky
Oh yeah,
place anyway, but there's definitely areas that seems, for whatever reason, seem to have more high strangeness happening. Don't know why it is, but there just seems to be certain areas that, and I know a cemetery is obviously the classic scary place, but
well, and that cemetery is old as hell too. I mean, it is old. Like,
Mhm.
if I could pull up a picture of it to show you, like it is old. I remember I tried to go there one time, and like it's owned by somebody privately now, so I don't think anybody can even go in there because the plots are old as shit in there too.
Mhm.
So it's in Oakley, Illinois. So this is oh, let's see here. Yeah, like these. If this gives you an idea, I mean that's one of the gravestones. I mean that's an old grave.
Whoa, yeah.
Like it's a place where there's shit there that it doesn't. And then I want to say this is the
For the listeners, that was like a really old style carving
yeah.
on a graveyard,
So
on a
this is
grave, on a tombstone. Sorry.
that's a really old picture of the original gate that was there.
Wow, it's all smashed up, man.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it is a very old cemetery. Like
Yeah.
so this is let's see here. So this is what it looks like today, though.
Okay. Is that a leaning fence? Is that like a
Yeah,
sort of a broken wall?
yeah,
Whoa. Wow, man.
yeah. It's a scary place. Like,
Mhm. You
you
get a
know,
vibe there. You get a vibe.
yeah. I've let me put it this way. I we drove by there one time, and the vibe was icky. Like
Mhm.
it was not a good feeling. Like it was one of those ones where you're just kind of like
Yeah.
like motherfucker, I don't want to get out of the car.
Don't
uh,
blame you, man. If there's ghost little girls there and stuff, and oh,
look, I forgot about this shit. So I'll tell you what, you got more ghost stories. I'll let you go with another ghost story, then I'll tell you the one that I just thought of.
okay, okay.
Right. Okay.
Right, I'll tell you that this is in France. This is where my mum lives now. My mum lives in like the French mountains in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
I,
that's lit.
it's like a little tiny village. I don't think there's many people in the village.
That's so cool.
It's like, yeah, it's a cool place, man. It's like when she sends me pictures of it, it's like stepping back in time. Like, it's really cool. My mum works in the forest. Like, you would love what my mum does. Like, her and
Yeah.
her partner are like always in the forest and woodsman. She's a wood lady, and
That's awesome.
yeah, so they're in like a very quiet little village. But in this village, obviously my mum's very into the spooky stuff as well. It's
Nice.
probably where I get it from. So she's always talking about it. She's had experiences. And I need to get her on the show one day, actually. She will come on. Do keep
Yep.
saying. But she was talking to one of her friends who's a woman now, but when this happened to her, she was young as well. And she was living in this same village, and her house backed onto a graveyard. So her bedroom window overlooked a graveyard, which is scary already. As
Yeah.
a, as already I'm out.
Yeah.
But so she could literally see the graveyard from her bedroom. And she said, as a kid, and I'm guessing around, I don't know the actual age, but I'm guessing she was very young when this happened. But she used to see, as she was in bed at night, people walking through her room, just walking through. So
Dude.
she would lay there in bed and she would literally see like, and they weren't even stopping. They were just like as if they were just, you know, walking through, I don't know, an airport or whatever. They're just walking through, and she would see them come through the wall and go through the other wall, and she saw this very regularly until one day she was laying there, and this lady walked through, and apparently you would see like a few people through. It wasn't just like one. There was
Yeah.
like a few. This lady stopped in front of her bed and started trying to communicate with her.
Oh
I
no.
know, yeah, and she wasn't really understanding what she was saying, but
Oh
she was trying to talk and tell her something. Anyway, she just carried on walking and left, right? So the next day, or a little while later, she was in this graveyard because it was right next to her house, and I'm guessing
yeah.
the family used to just go there all the time or whatever. There was a new grave. There was a fresh grave, and there was a
Oh.
picture on the grave,
Oh.
and the picture, you know what I'm going to say,
I
the
already
pic
know.
the picture was this lady that she saw a few nights before trying to, and I'm getting goosebumps, and that is absolutely true. My mum's friend, this is my mum's friend that had this experience, and now she studies like parapsychology or something like that. She's like really looks into this sort of stuff and really wants to know what's going on. And yeah, man, that's wild.
Hey, that's strange because like it almost gives me like an emotional thing because like
Yeah,
because I couldn't imagine. I, I don't know. Like
it's wild.
we'll just picture trying to sit there and convey a message to somebody because you're already probably confused. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like,
Hmm.
damn, I don't know. That
Yeah,
really kind of brought out like a specific emotion, man. I mean,
yeah, man.
right?
From
Because it's like think about this, right? Like, picture the feeling of almost like disappointment where she ended up eventually leaving because she was like I can't even get this message
couldn't
through.
get through. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
picture that
man.
almost that sadness that she would have had to feel.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, man, it's wild. And all I can, gather from that is possibly because it's a graveyard,
Yeah.
there's people leaving and they're getting in her bedroom, possibly there's some sort of portal that they're walking through.
Yeah.
That's just what I gather from it, or unless, I'd love to talk to her now and find out more. My mum speaks
Yeah.
to her. Apparently she doesn't have experiences now though. So I have asked that, and this was something that happened when she was younger. As she got older, it stopped, but she now looks into it more and wants to find out what was going on. I did say I'd like to get her on the show, but she's French as well, and I can't speak French, and I don't know how that would go down. But yeah, man.
I'll tell you what. Um, I don't know if she would do it or not, but fun fact, my brother, his mom actually lived in France for
Oh
like
wow.
I think 12 years and
Yeah.
can speak like fluent French is actually a French teacher. So I don't know
Oh
if she would
wow.
translate or not for you.
Yeah. Well, my mum can actually speak French as well.
Oh well, look, there you go. You got a
But
translator there.
yeah, I know, I know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I mean, maybe. Yeah, maybe I could get her on and we'll do that.
You got to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
People
that's fine.
people do listen to Let's Get Freaky in France. I know. Obviously, my mum she
Oh
listens,
yeah.
but and she plugs me wherever she can. I'm sure. But I do have a listenership in French, so that whether it's
Hey,
whether they're learning English.
worldwide.
I apologize for anyone that's trying to learn English listening to Let's Get Freaky. I'm not the best person with words, but yeah, man.
Man,
That's
look,
wild though, isn't it? That is a wild, and that is absolutely true as well.
that's crazy. I remember my aunt and uncle used to live next to a graveyard. They still do. They're trying to sell their house right now. I told my wife, I said we should buy it, but she doesn't want to. But so I remember like going over there for like family get-togethers and whatnot. That shit always felt weird. Like there's a strange feeling in that place. But yeah, that was an interesting house. It's up for sale right now.
Hmm.
$200,000.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah, $200,000. So it's a nice house, but yeah, right next to the cemetery. But
Yeah.
that's unbelievable. Like I said, it's just a strange thing. Like I said, I couldn't imagine trying to convey a message like that though, and like nothing could come through. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
that would. horrible trying to do that.
Yeah, yeah. And then it was obviously weird that she saw her picture on the
Yeah, right.
grave
Yeah,
fresh. So it was a fresh and yeah. Do these things come in and out? You know, I guess they do. From whatever her room, whatever was going on in her room, you know, if
yeah,
that was, if she was just seeing like having psychic abilities or, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I'd love to talk to her more about it, but that was, yeah. But I used to, my house where I saw the man in my room,
yeah.
half a mile down the road was a graveyard as well. It was
Really?
very close to a graveyard. So I often think, was there something to do with that, with what I saw? Maybe. Um, but yeah, man. What was that story you was going to share?
Man, okay. So I remember there's this cabin down in Southern Illinois that I used to stay on a shit ton. And it always had like weird energy. It was out in the middle of nowhere. And I remember one thing that happened was is that me and my buddies, we'd go down there, we just bullshit to stay there. Basically, we'd go down Friday, Saturday, come home Sunday, like type deal. And there's one night where we kept hearing shit in the woods. That was weird. And then all of a sudden, like the light that was on the balcony up there kept flickering. Like, and we could literally hear what sounded like somebody flicking it on and off, on and off, on and off. So it wasn't like the light was just flickering. It was like as if somebody was like flicking the switches, like click, 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 and then it would stop, and then it would click, 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 click. It was strange. Like I still remember that. I'm pretty sure I got that on video too. But like that,
Whoa.
yeah, that was a very, very strange thing that was happening whenever that was going on.
Was everyone freaking out when that was going on?
Oh yeah, well we were also drunk too, so we were like, but like it was definitely one of those things where you're watching it happen. And you're like, holy shit, this is strange. Like
Hmm.
you don't know how to describe it.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna
you're in a cabin in the woods as well, which is already
yeah, already kind of like nerve wracking.
uh,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can find that. Once I find that video, I'm gonna send it to you because that was like in it's literally like we're sitting there and we're oh you know what? It's on Snapchat. That's where it is. But we're sitting there and like you can legit see it. Like it's just flickering. Like the lights just click 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 click. Click.
uh,
But
freaky, man.
yeah, that one was crazy. And I'm trying to think. There was another ghost story that I was gonna tell you. Uh,
We can save it for another time, brother, if it's gone. We got
well,
many conversations to have.
oh my goodness, I know. Um, if it comes back to me, we'll go back to it.
Yeah.
We'll go back to it. But I know we got to dive into the here it is. So like it would stop doing it, and then it would just
Oh. So for the listeners, it's just flashing on. What? Oh, there is a fly in the room. A fly just came in front of me.
but it would sit there and it would stop, and then it would start back up, but we could hear it like it was if somebody was in there hitting the light switch.
Did any other weird stuff happen in there?
Oh yeah, there was like I said, the woods were strange. That was the weird thing, was how strange the woods were.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm a woodsman. Like, I love the woods, but that shit was weird out there. But
Yeah.
it's so, like the woods are peaceful out there, but it's a strange vibe.
If
Like, I
something
don't.
if something scary happens in the woods, man, I think it just adds to that.
Oh hell yeah!
You
Like
know.
I can tell you that firsthand, as being somebody that has spent so much time in the woods. Like weird shit that happens in the woods is 10 times scarier than whenever it's
Hmm. Yeah, man.
you know
Yeah.
because who's gonna help you out in the woods?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
You're open to the elements,
Yeah.
brother. Brother. What else was we going to talk about? There was something else we was going to talk about. Oh,
Drone.
the drones. The
Drone.
recent drones. Now, I've got to
Oh,
say, I've had a lot of people messaging me about who are in New Jersey that have seen these things.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and they seem to be all different shapes and sizes. Some are as big as cars. Some look like orbs. Some look like planes, but you can tell they're not planes. They just look like planes.
Yeah.
And I even had someone messaged me today. Hang on, let me get it up if I can, because it's bizarre, man. I mean, it's all over the mainstream media, which I find strange as well. So Arnie Dixon messaged me today. He's a really cool dude, and
Yeah.
he is in New Jersey, and he sent me a video today of he's saying that in his street there's all these orange liquid on all the cars, like
What?
dots of orange liquid, and he thinks possibly that it's coming from these drones, that possibly they're releasing something. I mean, that's a scary thought if that's the case. But he's seen them as well. He sent me videos of drones in the sky, and the thing is with the drone, like there are drones in the sky. Like you do see drone, people do have
Yeah.
drones, but the amount there are, um, the fact that they're in certain airspaces where they're not allowed to fly, and the height that they're flying, and that they're saying and there's talk about this mothership, this Iranian mothership that they were saying. I don't know how true that is, but some mainstream media reports were talking about that. It's just bizarre, man. It's
Well,
weird.
well, you think about this, right? And like, so I'm a big Reddit guy. Like, I'm all over Reddit. I love Reddit
Mhm.
for finding weird
I
shit.
like it, but I don't know what I'm doing on there. I
Yeah,
just
that
get,
I feel like it's 90% of people on Reddit.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to use it.
So I remember, and see, a lot of people didn't even know this was going on. Right before all the shit in New Jersey happened, there was shit happening over in your neck of the woods.
Hmm. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, with the UFOs on the air bases, because
Hmm. In Manchester Airport as
yeah,
well.
we had a nuclear trade deal with y'all recently.
Really?
I want to say that's what it was, where we were transferring like nuclear stuff over there to our military bases.
Hmm.
And
Yeah. Well, you've
after
got a lot of bases over here as well, for sure.
a shit ton. And that's the
Hmm.
thing, is that, like there's been all these like, crafts reported over there. And
Yeah,
then right
man.
after that, all of a sudden the drones are everywhere. So it's like it's almost like one of those things where it's like we got to get the attention off of this shit because now nobody talking
Interesting.
about all the shit that's happened before. So
Yes.
everybody's only focusing on New Jersey drones.
Yes. Yeah, you do think that, especially when the mainstream media are reporting on it the way they
It's
are.
it's strange because
It's
they don't
like
usually
it's
do that.
no. Is it a distraction?
I think it will, and like I said, but think about that because how hardcore were all the people in our community going ape shit about all the shit going on
Oh man,
with
it's going wild.
yeah, but think about this though, right? All the shit that was happening before the drones, right? To where it was like the actual UFO shit, and
Yeah.
then also right after that starts picking up, then all of a sudden, whoa, there's drones all over New Jersey, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well that seems a little odd, you know, how all of a sudden that just picked up right after, because let me put it this way: the last time, and I saw like the way that I described it, and I think it's very true, is the last time that there was that many UFO reports around the world was after Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Hmm.
That was the last time there was that many reports, and then after that, there wasn't like there was a lot of reports, but this many in like one like month worth, right?
Yes.
Didn't happen until the Manchester shit.
Hmm.
And they were all over Manchester,
Hmm.
and then also, and those weren't fucking drones. Like I'm sorry, like those were not drones. Like
Yeah. They were like orbs, weren't they?
yeah, orbs, and there was like triangle shaped crafts and shit that were disappearing in broad daylight and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like it was wild shit. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like after everybody was talking about that, the news even started picking that up. And then right as the news hit that, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, drones in New Jersey.
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's a cover up
Interesting.
or whatnot, but like you said, it's very strange that that would happen.
Well, you think of what's been going on in the last couple of weeks where tensions have got high. Obviously, there's tensions high in the world at the moment. There's all sorts going on with Russia and all sorts. And there was talk for a couple of weeks of the buttons being pushed. There has been talks. Like I know like people don't want to hear that, and I get it because
Yeah.
it's a scary, scary thought that we could just blow ourselves up at any moment. But there was talks of things happening, nuclear. World War
Yeah.
Three style. And World War Three now would be a different war than we've ever seen because it would just be over in seconds probably, and we'd be, you know, dust.
Yeah.
Um, and then this happens, and then we're starting to see
Well,
all the. Is there a connection
well,
with that?
it looked like what I told you. The spikes in UFOs increased so much after 1945. I mean, look at all the shit that happened. Look what happened in 1947. You know what happened in 1947, right?
Yeah.
Roswell, right?
Yeah.
After that, then all of a sudden, all the other shit started happening right after that. But you got to think, what's the one thing that'll actually change an electromagnetic field that strongly is a nuclear blast, right? And if that's the thing that really got them to start looking at us again, like hardcore,
hmm
then all of a sudden now they're just seeing like all the apes that are running around, trying to blow ourselves up again. And they're like, okay, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. Let's go. Come back. We're coming
Well, yeah.
back.
Well, and the thing is, too, is that it's like you look at these reports and it's like there's people that are talking about how, you know, they were able to shut off the nuclear buttons.
Yeah.
So one thing about Reddit that I love, so you can you can find like CIA documents every once in a while.
Man, that's
Watch how
dangerous.
watch how this shit gets flagged now.
Yeah. That's it.
Fuck anything
That's
on here.
it.
But so like there is CIA documents that I found on here, and what
Oh.
they are is they're describing specific like objects that people have been seeing.
hmm
So this one, it's table two, disc slash saucer, generally range from a few meters to over 20 meters in diameter. Exhibits capabilities for both hovering, high speed flight, often making sudden sprints. Radar detection varies. Visual sightings more common. Some reports include humming sound. Colors are metallic silver or gray is common, though some have been reported as emitting light and changing colors. And behaviors is sudden vertical ascents, hovering, a silent operation. Some reports indicate the ability to be able to become invisible and blend into the sky, unique emissions, instances of electromagnetic interference in nearby devices and vehicles, and atmospheric phenomenon as visual disturbances such as shimmering in the air or sudden fog formation, right? And it's like, so that's one of them that it talked about. And then another one was oval and tic tac, and it says lengths typically 6 to 40 meters, maintaining proportional with the width and height. High speed traveling, instant accelerations have frequently been reported as no sonic boom. Signatures, visual identifications often notes lack of contrail, white or silver for color. Like there's a lot of shit on you. And then it says like,
Whoa.
another one where it says the table four is a triangular. The size is medium to large size, ranging from S16 to a football field size, capable of slow, precise movement as well as rapid acceleration of speed beyond conventional aircraft. Uh, Often reported to emit soft humming sound, may affect electromagnetic fields. So, like, and these are documents that are, probably very classified.
Yeah.
And then, like, even this, so it sucks because a lot of these pictures are absolutely dog shit. Like, whoever was doing it definitely did not print them out
But I
correctly.
was I was talking with. Whoa. Okay. So that's a drawing of what someone saw. Is that right?
Yeah, so these are,
They are spectacular. They look like motherships.
yeah,
They look like motherships. I was on Chris Holmes's show the other day, Conspira
okay,
Theory podcast, and he had this theory, and I thought it was very interesting that our phones, because when you look at the sky and you try and take a picture of, say, the moon on your
yeah,
iPhone, like there was a super moon a little while ago, and I was trying to get a really cool picture of it, and as you know, on your iPhone, you try and take a picture of that, and it's just a little blob of nothing. Like you can't take nice pictures in the sky. And he
yeah.
was saying, is it possible that the cameras on our phone are sort of set so that when we point it to the sky and try and get pictures of whatever we can't? That they're set that we can't actually get there. And I thought, okay, maybe. I know that's all. There's people that work with phones and stuff will say no, it's to do with the cameras, maybe. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. It was a
So one thing that's interesting about that, right, is so you know me. I have an obsession with outdoors and the night sky.
Hmm.
So I actually know how to get your camera settings to where you can take pictures of the moon that are really good.
Oh, really? Oh, that blows my.
So like,
Oh, wow. Oh, so for the people listening now, that is
uh,
a cool picture of the moon. Is that just taken on the iPhone? Is that just an
yeah,
iPhone?
there you go. That's
Whoa, you can see all the detail in the moon. Okay,
and
well that takes away what I just said then.
so like you can,
Yeah, you can see all the craters and everything.
but
Okay, well,
the thing is though, but I will say this is that there's been times where, and like I said, I know how to really edit pictures very well, right?
hmm
And how to use the right settings to be able to get specific camera shots and night shots and all that shit. But one thing I will say though is there's been times where I've tried to take pictures and whatnot, and they won't take,
hmm
you know, or whenever I'll see like crazy shit. So like right now, so like I'll give you a perfect example. So the moon's out like hardcore right now. There's zero
Is
clouds
that
on.
is that the moon? What I can see there? That
So
that
right,
that it looks like a big star, but is that the
so
moon?
that's so that's Jupiter right there.
Oh, okay.
So that's Jupiter, and then here, so there, that's the moon,
Wow, that just looks like a street light from here.
right? Or oh, is it is that the moon? Yeah, no, that is the moon. Okay, okay. So here, look.
Yeah.
So I'll show you. So I'll go ahead and take a picture of this right now. Right. So we'll go through here. Boom. Let's see. Okay. Shit. So it's so hard because I'm trying to do this like on the spot.
Yeah, that's cool, man. No pressure.
But yeah, right. So
That's why I find it funny when people, when you see these Bigfoot films and people are like, "Why can't you keep the camera still, man?" It's like,
yeah.
can you imagine seeing a Bigfoot and trying to get a perfectly still pic? Your hands would be shaking, it would be the most pressure you've probably ever felt trying to get
Well,
that.
and that's the thing is it's so okay. There we go. Okay. Let's see. So it's hard because most of the times whenever I take a picture of the moon,
Hmm.
hey, I'm out in the country. And like right now, we got all this other shit near us.
Yeah, yeah,
But I mean, even then, like I'm able to get a perfect round
yeah.
picture of the moon,
Hmm. Yeah.
and that's like I said, that's just right now.
So you've disproven what I've said about,
But
but
like I said though, I've had moments where I've tried to do that and it won't take at
that's
all.
interesting. That's
Like
interesting.
even right now, like before, and like
Hmm.
obviously I got all this other light and shit around me.
Yeah,
But there's been other times before where I'll try to take a picture and whatnot, and it won't take at all. And like I'm out in the woods where there's no other light pollution or anything.
yeah, yeah,
So
man.
I don't know. And then, you think about all the people that talk about stories of the dark side of the moon and how there's weird shit going on out there. And, you
Hmm.
know, you ever heard about the, whenever there was like the silent time, whenever Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong were on the moon?
Yeah.
Now, did you hear about how the CB radio operators heard shit?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think I told you about that before.
Yeah. Yeah. Because your aunt worked at NASA, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Man,
weird shit. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things
did
where
we did we go to the moon though? That's the
I,
question.
I think so. I
Okay.
think, but see, I'm a watch guy, so like so fun fact, like I know we're deep diving into this, but
Yeah.
do you know about watches at all? You big watch guy?
I do like watches. Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay,
don't know a lot about them, but the
so
mechanics, but I do
you
like
know
it. I
you
can
know about
appreciate a good watch.
you know about Omegas?
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Okay, so fun fact, do you know that the Omega was the first watch to be on the moon?
Really?
So the Omega Speedmaster, right, was the first watch to ever be on the moon at all.
Hmm.
Because basically NASA sent out a letter to all the Swiss watchmakers. It was like, we need you guys to, present a watch that you guys would feel comfortable having on the moon. And the one that won the contract was the Omega Speedmaster.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
yeah,
That's cool, man.
but that's why.
Amiga's a good watch as well.
Oh
Very
yeah,
expensive.
I have two Omegas right now.
Wow.
One of them's for sale. So if anybody feels interested in
My
a buy
man.
Omega,
Link will be in the show description if you
yeah.
want.
But I'm selling it cheap too. I'm selling it for $500, $600 in that range. So, but I'm
There you
also
go, guys. Get in touch. You
yeah,
want an
yeah,
Amiga?
get in touch. But and it's funny that we're talking about the stars because the one that it is, it's Omega Constellation.
Hmm.
So, but it's so interesting because like you look at like stuff like even stuff like that, like humans' fascination with consistent space travel, and it's like we know more about space than we do our own Earth, but
Yeah.
we're so worried about going out there rather than exploring what we have here. That's the strange thing to me.
Hmm.
Like think about that. Yeah, like and most people don't even understand or try to process that shit. Like we're so invested on trying to learn about what the fuck is out there rather than what's on here.
Hmm.
Like we
Yeah,
know
man.
more about space than we do our own ocean.
Yeah, that's wild. I
That's
think
strange.
I think there's some weird stuff in our ocean as well, for
Oh
sure.
hell yeah, there is. There,
I'd love to go out for a drink with Buzz Aldrin and just get him
oh
hammered and just
yeah.
talk to him.
Just talk to be like, come on,
see,
spill the
see what I can get. I feel like I could get a good idea.
that needs to be our show right there.
Yeah,
Look, that's what it could be called. Look, oh,
beers with Bud.
not beers. Look, beers and booze.
Yeah, beers and booze.
Beers and
Yeah,
booze. Look, there's our new
let's
show.
go. Let's
There's our new show
go.
right there.
Yeah, man, that's a great idea.
Yeah, beers and booze.
Oh man, brother, it's been a blast tonight, man. It's been awesome as always. What a
Oh
wild year it's been as well. What a
man.
wild year. Was it the Miami Malls this year? The Miami Mall, was that this year or was that last? I lose track. Was that
Oh,
was that
I
at the
think it was
start of the
here,
year?
wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like right at the start of the year that happened. I'm pretty sure. Even though my time with stuff like that is very bad.
Look,
But
it. The year has gone by quick.
it has very quick. I can't believe it's Christmas again, man, to be honest, but here we are. Man.
Man.
Well, brother, I've loved talking to you tonight, man. We could go on and talk for another couple of hours. I think we've done nearly 2 hours, so I think this has been another cool conversation. And thank you so much, man. It's always awesome,
Of
and
course, brother.
I'm excited for the next one. Can you tell the listeners where they can find you?
Man, look, y'all can find me anywhere. Y'all can find me on Instagram, uh, YouTube, Mysterious Outdoors Podcast, even though I've yet to release an episode. Been too damn busy. Uh, but yeah, feel free to hit me up. You can find me on Tommy's pages, both of them and everything. If you have any questions or anything, you just want to bullshit with me or tell me any stories, feel free. Tell him he's the man to tell the stories to, though. But yeah, you know, so yeah, as always, Tommy, brother, it's a beautiful time talking to you, truly.
You're a legend, brother. I love you, man. Thank you
Love
so,
you
so
too, man.
much for coming back on. And obviously, we'll do this again very soon because it's always a blast. So thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Thank you, brother, truly.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, share it where you can and make sure you have a fantastic Christmas, whatever you're doing, whether you're with family, whether you're working, whatever you're doing, make sure you enjoy it. It's not always easy this time of year. It can be tough for some. So love to you all. I hope you have a great day. And yeah, thank you. Thank you, brother.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas and keep it freaky. Bye for now. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.